Recording in progress.
All right, guys. So this topic for me was really interesting because I've been a YouTube creator off and on for the last, I'm going to say 11 years. Started doing YouTube about 11 years ago, built a different channel up to over 100,000 subscribers. My son did the same thing. And about, I'm going to say 6 years ago, we kind of felt this burnout feeling, and the algorithms were constantly changing on us. And the funny thing is looking back 6 years ago, that was the golden era where now that I look at it now, back then was so much easier than it is now. And now we have AI, we have all these things. So let's just get into this because I got a lot to say on this. And I'm sure we have two types, right? We have people that are creators or people that are trying to think about they're trying to build their YouTube, existing YouTube. And then there's people that are going, should I even try? A lot of people are like, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel or a TikTok or an Instagram or some sort of an online presence, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. I don't know if it'll work because I'm going to tell you right now, it's tough. So, what do we have here? 90% of content creators report experiencing burnout. It is a real thing. Even if you think you love it at the beginning, burnout can just happen after like a month, 2 months. Some people get it right after a week. 54% have seriously considered quitting, and the number one concern going into 2026 is competing with AI generated content. That concern is correct. You cannot win the volume game. AI can produce content faster, cheaper, and around the clock. We've all seen it, right? No human can compete on these terms, but volume is the wrong game, and that's this entire episode. That's what we're going to really focus on. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all seeing no face AI generated and AI, YouTube, and this goes for a lot of other platforms. This isn't just YouTube, but YouTube is where we are right now. So we'll focus a lot on that, and that's where I have most of my experience. But there is AI everywhere, and everywhere they're saying, a lot of the experts and a lot of recommendations are, don't do AI, be real. They're looking for real people. But then you see these AI channels just blown up with little effort because they can produce just content like hundreds, thousands of pieces daily if they want to. So here's how the algorithm trap was built. Social platforms make money from attention. More content means more time on platform means more advertising revenue. So algorithms were designed to reward consistency and volume. Post more, get more reach, miss a week, lose your momentum. The incentive structure was always about keeping creators producing, not about rewarding quality. For years, this was inconvenient but survivable. Then AI arrived and can produce at a volume no human can match at all. I mean, there's Hagen avatars that look like real people. They're getting better and better. It's just crazy where it's going. I can't even imagine what it's going to be in a year or two. Suddenly, the algorithm's preferred input, endless consistent content, became available at near zero cost. The feeds filled, organic reach collapsed, and creators who had spent years building audiences found themselves running faster just to stay in the same place. A zero sum game is what it feels like. Um, yeah, I mean, it does feel like that for a lot of creators, and there's so many problems actually in the creator, I'm going to say, industry right now. Yes, there's some people that are doing really well, but I would say the majority of people are struggling. They're quitting, and there's a whole much more we can get into. So, 51% of creators name the hamster wheel of content production as their largest source of distress. They're not wrong about the problem. Most of them are wrong about the solution. I mean, I remember because we were doing daily vlogs, three or four, and you would put all this work into a vlog and carry a camera around and do all these things that we used to do. We used to do adventure, surfing, all these kind of things. And you would be so excited to, get your content, sit in front of a computer, and then edit for like 6 hours. And then you would hit that publish button. And it was just like this exciting feeling that you did this piece of content, and then shortly afterwards you're just like, okay, I gotta go shoot another video and come up with a new topic and try to be creative and try to chase this this attention wheel. So, running faster to stay in the same place is what it feels like. If you've ever opened Instagram Insights and thought, I posted 5 times this week and reach went down. Yes, that's the machine working as designed. The machine is not broken. You are not failing. You're just playing a game with a rigged rewards structure. Yeah, guys. It's tough, but it's funny because, excuse me, you go 20 years ago and influencer wasn't even a thing. Content creator didn't even exist. And now it is well, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, not even like 3 or 4 years ago, they did a poll and like young elementary, junior high kids, high school kids, like one of the top career paths that people said is they want to be influencer, they want to be a content creator. I remember before that, you go back 20, 25 years, everybody wanted to be a rapper and a professional athlete or a movie star or a model. Um, yeah, so the solution most creators reach for is more. More posts, more formats, more platforms, more consistency. Some use AI to help produce more, which I've gone down that road, using things like Opus, where you can create shorts. Oh, that's a whole nother thing. Shorts came in, and now it's like, ugh, it's like shorts are starting to invade and take over all of YouTube as well. Anyways, and for a while, this works until every creator on the platform does the same thing, and the feeds fill with volume at a level that makes individual posts invisible. Here's the structural reality: you're a human with expertise, perspective, and a finite number of hours. AI is a content engine with no finite hours and no marginal cost. Competing with it on volume is like a local bakery trying to outproduce a factory. It's not a fair fight, and it was never designed to be. The platforms are even starting to acknowledge this. Instagram and YouTube both updated their algorithm in 2026 to penalize low effort AI content and reward originality and genuine engagement. Yeah, that's what they say, but I'm not seeing it. And a lot of people are not seeing it. They did this because AI flooded feeds were driving users away. The algorithm is now slowly starting to punish the thing it previously rewarded. Yeah, I'm not seeing this. I'll tell you this. When I first got into YouTube, and or even let's go before that, when I was creating websites and trying to get on Google and trying to optimize for search engine optimization, there was always these suggested rules or suggested documents that they would put out on the best way to get to to climb the search engines, to get to get put on a better page, a better ranking. None of it worked. You know what worked is everything that they told you not to do. That was basically going to Fiverr and buying like you know views and subscribers and paying for. I mean, this is before they had people even knew what it was, but you could basically do stuff like pay for subscribers and thumbs up and views. I mean, we're talking like 10 years ago, and your YouTube channel would take off because it would trick the algorithm. And then next thing you know, your channel would get all these subscribers, and then it would be like off and running. And it's kind of like crowds breed crowds, right? So it's social proof. So once you have a big enough channel and you have a lot of subscribers, people look at the subscribers of the channel, they look at how many views that video gets, and then they make an instant decision on the value of that. So it's tough for new creators, period, or new videos or people that are starting, because you could have the greatest video, but you look at it and, well, algorithms haven't really hit in yet. You haven't built anything yet. And nobody wants to click on it because they see 5 other videos that have, thousands of views, and yours has 20 views. My channel right now is one of those channels because I've started a brand new channel doing something that I actually have passion about. And I love researching all this AI stuff and how it's affecting jobs, industries, all of us, especially like solopreneurs and small businesses. Yeah. So, anyways, so imagine a local bakery trying to outproduce a factory. That's the image I want you to hold. You could theoretically try, you'd be exhausted, the bread would be terrible, and the factory would still win. Or, and this is the option I'd recommend, make bread the factory literally cannot make. There are people who will queue around the block for that bread. And that is true. But that's the whole niche thing. But the problem is YouTube algorithm has kind of messed that up. Why? Because now they're rewarding each individual content almost separately and targeting that, and they're not giving it in that much more value based on your subscribers, and they're not really showing your videos to your subscribers that you have. So people can subscribe to your channel doesn't mean they're going to see or be recommended your video. That's a problem. I truly believe that these platforms should be really, really treating their creators like kings and doing everything they can to make creators become the best possible they can. And of course, punish, you know, people that are basically just using slop and AI, but like real creators, real people, like me. See what I'm doing right here. So this video is probably going to be kind of long because I have a lot to say about this. So while most creators are burning out chasing reach, a different group is doing something else. That's a whole nother thing, which is YouTube seems to reward chasing trending brain rot. And creators can't help it because they get no views, no subscribers, and then they do a dumb video that they wouldn't normally do. They just try it out because they're just trying to get results. And then the next thing you know, they're going totally against their topic, against their passion, against what they believe, everything that they intended to do at the beginning, and they just start chasing brain rot slop because it's the only way to get results. It's one of the only ways to get results. And the thing is, as creators, we want to do what we want to do. Yes, we're willing to chase a little bit, but not to the rate that it is at right now. So, anyways, a different group is doing something else entirely. All right, let's get into this because, there is some truth here. Micro niche creators with 50,000 to 200,000 followers are earning 3 to 15,000 a month. Really? I'd like to know exactly how. Well, I know there's AdSense. I mean, there's a lot of different ways of monetization. But micro niche? 3 to 10 times more per follower than broad audience generalists. Creators with a clear niche earn 40% more from sponsorships. 64% of niche community members are willing to pay for exclusive content compared to 18% of broad audience followers. I do agree with this, but the one thing that's really important to remember is not all niches are created equal. If you're in finance, chances are, finance or medical, chances are you're going to get paid a hell of a lot more than if you're doing something that is just, there's no money in it. I can't think of something offhand, but it would be something very generalized. Yeah, so where were we? Let's see. So Substack crossed 8.4 million paid subscriptions in the first quarter of 2026, up to 68% in 1 year. More striking, 32 million new subscribers in a single quarter found writers inside the platform itself, not through social media. People are actively seeking depth. They're paying for it, and they're finding it by looking for it, not by scrolling past it. Okay, well, that's Substack. That's good to know. How does that really apply in YouTube or, say, Instagram or TikTok, where, you know, most of the people are trying to make it work? Yeah, 32 million subscribers in 1 quarter found writers inside Substack, not from Twitter, not from Instagram. They opened Substack and went looking. That is a different human behavior than scrolling for sure. A person who goes looking for something is categorically more valuable to you than a person who stumbles across you. Build for the first group. Yes, 100%. True. If you can solve a problem or a niche that's very specific and be a real person, for sure that can help. All right, so let's talk about what can we do to combat this battle, build a strategy. So three moves that work specifically for creators over 40. I do like that. I like that age group. I like to think in the 40, 50, 60s, but anybody can benefit because I'm in my 50s. So I think people can relate, right, when it's close to their age group. So first, trade reach for depth on one platform. Trade reach for depth. on one platform. Pick the platform where your audience is most engaged, not most numerous. Yeah, that's true because I've been trying to help a couple people with their YouTube channel and they keep chasing shorts thinking it's all in the shorts. Very little value on shorts. And they always say money's in long form creators and shorts is just brain rot. It can be, I'm not saying don't do shorts, but for YouTubers, shorts, it's think of it just like as a little bonus to maybe get more attention, to get more people used to, I guess, your face if you're using your face or your brand. Cut your posting frequency in half, double the depth of each piece. Watch what happens to comments, shares, and direct responses. You are looking for the signal that people found this worth their time, not the signal that the algorithm bumped your impressions. Second, build something you own. Yes, this is a good one. A newsletter, a paid community, a podcast, an email list. Social media should be the discovery layer where people find you. The place they come back to should be somewhere you control. 100%. And I'm going to start looking into doing that as I grow. Let's say if I continue, right? Maybe I'll quit and get burnout like everybody else. Well, that's why it's important that when you are going to do a channel or say do a YouTube channel or something, if you're new, you really have to ask yourself, is this something I enjoy doing? And can I see myself doing this 1,000 times, And for me, yes, I can do this 1,000 times because I love these topics and I love learning. And this is where it's going. Maybe in a year or two, I won't feel the same. But it's got to be, you can't just be chasing something you think will do good. It has to be something that you really feel and will enjoy. Unless you're just one of those crazy workhorses that will just do it anyways, even if you hate it. But I wouldn't recommend that. So, yeah, where people find you. The place they come back to should be somewhere you control. Your email list cannot be algorithm penalized, which is very true. Your newsletter cannot have its reach shadow banned. Shadow banning is a pain in the ass, too. You get shadow banned all the time and you never know it. The platform can change its rules tomorrow. Your list cannot be taken from you. Third, and finally, the third one is lean into the asset the algorithm cannot replicate, your experience. And I've said this many times before. Your earned perspective, your specific context from 20, 30, 40, 50 years of working in your field or just living your life. AI can write about any topic. It cannot write from your life. That's not a small distinction. It's the entire competitive moat. And there you have it, guys. So if you're feeling that burnout and you're kind of trying to figure out what to do, this is a common thing for creators. For creators that have been trying to grow and then losing views, subscribers, and it just seems like it's a losing game and you don't know what to do, you got to think, how do I build something that, I can eventually basically break out of needing this? Yeah. So AI can write about any topic, it cannot write your life. I want to repeat that. Not from your experience, not with your specific context, not with the story of the time you got it wrong in 2011 and what that actually taught you. The gap is your entire business model. It is not closing. So I've been thinking about what would I do with this channel if it starts to grow and I start to get some momentum and I start to what kind of business model would I do? Because I don't want to create a product like some dumb $50 $40 product. And what I've come to the conclusion, and a lot of this comes from Alex Ramosi, is really going after high-end high ticket items, high-end clients, kind of like a coaching type of a thing based on your experience. That's where the money is. And those kind of people are really paying for speed, convenience, and just the ease of knowing that you're right there to help them do what you want. And there's so many different topics that this can work in. This can be like crypto. As a crypto guy, this could be mobility, health, surfing. All these things where there's people that really want to have somebody they feel like they have direct contact to, a real person, and not just some AI generated product, and you can charge for that. And what I'm thinking is, I'm actually thinking about putting together an app that can help basically solopreneurs, basically work with a very small amount of clients, but at a high price range. Because if you can charge $10,000 annually for one person, make it worth it, that sure as hell beats a $20, a $30 product that you have to sell to 500 people and deal with all that. As Alex Ramosi says, right? He says you either sell to a small amount of people for a good amount, a lot amount of money, to get to where you need to be, or the other option is sell something cheap to everybody. But in the middle is where businesses die, and that is the problem. If you want success, you got to go one end to the other, and going after higher end clients, if you can build a proper offer type of thing, and that's for all you content creators. That's what I'm saying is you should be thinking about that. You can look up Alex Ramosi on that. A really cool thing is you can build these Notebook LM digital mentors based on the YouTube channels, and you can just ask them any question you want about whatever it is. It's really cool. I'll do a video on that where I built Alex Ramosi as my mentor. I built like 5 or 6 people off their YouTube channels, and I built them into my like digital mentors that I can ask questions, and it's pretty amazing that you can do that. And a lot of people have no idea. They don't even realize it's something you can do. I'll do a video on that. But anyways, we are going to close it out. The algorithm will keep demanding more, and that's what it was built to do. The question is whether you're going to keep feeding it or redirect that energy somewhere it compounds, as I just said. Depth compounds, community compounds, earn trust compounds, volume just evaporates in the feed. All right, guys, subscribe, and we're gonna be going after these topics: AI affecting your work, industries, and of course, anti-aging biology and what AI is doing for that. And until the next video, guys, let's get it.